got a question for you. I have got a question for you. What category do you fall under? Are you a push pull legs fanatic? Are you a are you an upper lower, you know, demon sort of lifter? Or are you the type of guy who likes a workout split that has a dedicated arm day? Because if you are, I sympathize with you. I know what you are talking about. I love an arm day. And it's half subjective. It's half subjective, of course, but I don't know. It just kind of makes sense for me. In terms of the workout, a split, it kind of just sort of goes hand in hand, you know. Like when I do my legs, I train both sides of my legs together, hamstrings and quads. It would make sense if I want to do my arms, I'm going to hit my triceps and my biceps at the same time too. But you know, I also see the argument of adding, doing triceps after chest in a really like a more of a conventional push day kind of way, and back end biceps. I'm not so keen on. It's like after, by the time I finished a good back workout, my biceps have gotten a reasonable amount of activation. That working them anymore, I feel like it's not. It's more like just fatiguing them, not really stimulating them in like a muscle growth inducing kind of way. So if you love back and bis, then screw me from what I'm saying. Do that. Do what you know works. Do what feels the best and lets you go the hardest. But for me, I love an arm day. Triceps first, followed by biceps. Sometimes going back and forth. And half the reason there is I just like having my arms fully pumped. I'm really excited for, well, in the next few weeks because I'm going to gain an instant 10 pounds of water and carbs, all intramuscular. So until then, I don't mind doing an arm day where I do like a set of triceps and then a set of biceps and then back and forth, so that my arms are completely pumped at the end of the workout. But when I'm fully bulked up and when I kind of really start pushing down the food, I do that superset kind of arm day much less frequently, and for good reason. My arms get too pumped to the point where, like, if my triceps are fully pumped and my biceps are pumped at the same time, the pumps almost interfere with each other. Like, if my biceps are really pumped up, if I try to do a set for like straight bar pushdowns, my forearm literally runs into everything going on up here, and it takes the tension off my triceps. So if you get big enough, that's something that you are going to have to think about. And eh, I guess you could kind of say it helps your bicep training if you have a tricep pump, because then you have a little bit of extra resistance at the top of the curl because your tricep is trying to pull your arm straight. But either way, cannot beat the basics. You know, what's the best way to build your arms? What's the best way to build your triceps? To build the peak of your biceps? Probably intense training is the best way. So be that from heavy alternating dumbbell curls, heavy cable curls, machine curls, fucking preacher curls, really any kind of curl. You're probably fucking fine loading it up as much weight as you can do for safe reps. We've all seen the videos of guys do preacher curls with a straight bar where they extend their arms all the way out, and then there's a little kind of freak factor going on right there, and not in a good way. So I guess there are some red flags that pop up in bicep training where I say, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So you're never going to catch me do preacher curls and extend my arms completely straight at the bottom. I mean, oh, talk about transferring every fucking pound possible you can directly into your tendons. Goodness. But it's not too complicated, right? Because just think about it from a muscular perspective. Like, this is one thing which I think a lot of people could benefit from getting a better understanding of, is like when you're doing a specific movement or you've got a specific lift, it's leg day, you're about to start a bicep workout or a tricep workout, don't just think about doing a curl per se. That is what you're doing, but don't just think about it like that, because that's not really what you're doing. When you pick up the pair of 40s, you walk in front of the mirror, you can see your forearm veins going fucking crazy, and you start curling. This isn't what you're doing. You're not magically exerting force through your palm, right? You're pulling on your fucking forearm through kind of this part way up in here where your bicep connects to it. So if you can kind of develop a little bit of a kind of, well, fucking mind muscle connection to feel that sort of squeeze and to feel your biceps doing the work and not just like going through the motion of a curl, then, I mean, it may not change to an insane degree, but I think more than likely you're going to be able to have better fucking pumps. And the same thing can go for anything, be it chest, back, legs, whatever. When I'm on that last leg day, when I was on that pendulum squat, I wasn't just thinking, okay, I'm going to go down and I'm going to push. In a way, I was kind of almost pretending that I was doing like a leg extension where I would try to straighten my legs at the knee so I could get more quad activation. Because if you just think about the basic framework of whatever movement you're doing, you kind of lose touch with the main muscle you're trying to work. This was definitely a eureka moment for me. I was in the home gym. This is COVID years. I was really locked in. Not that I'm not now, but I think COVID definitely helped making the training a bit more intense because I don't have to focus on anything else. But I'm sitting there doing incline dumbbell or no, incline barbell bench. Like nothing, like whatever, normal chest day. And then all of a sudden, whoa, holy, whoa, I can feel my chest actually doing the work and not just, kind of envisioning my hands pushing the bar. And if you can kind of, and the more you work out, if you're actually trying, this is just going to come to you like nothing. I mean, eventually it'll kind of be like second nature. Like I'm, like just sitting here, I can kind of like get my lats fucking tightened up and my lower back and my hamstrings, my quads and everything. Like you get a pretty good sort of, well, just a good sense of what to flex, how to flex it, and how to do that directly. I'm talking like popping your pecs sort of thing. It doesn't just have a show-offy effect of being kind of cool. That lets you fucking make your sets more important. Or more, well, not more important, but more effective. Because if you can do a set of dumbbell curls, where instead of just imagining, like, okay, I'm trying to curl this 40 as hard as possible, you can actually kind of envision the fact that your bicep is what's pulling the weight up, then I'm going to go so far and say, yeah, you're going to be able to activate more biceps in your sets. And same thing with triceps, If you can get a bit of a closer connection with the fact that your tricep is what's pushing the weight down and you're not just pushing it down, you're going to use less chest, you're going to use less shoulders. You're definitely going to get a better tricep pump. Yeah, it just fucking makes sense. So that's the plan for today. Be it heavier sets or lighter squeezing sets, slow, fast, kind of whatever. I'm going to make sure that the intended targeted muscle is what is doing the majority of the work. And after not too many sets, I'm talking 8-ish, maybe more, maybe less for tries, for buys. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen if you go into the gym after having taken pre-workout, drinking or having drank a good amount of water for the day with electrolytes, being well rested, and then you go to the gym and you do 8 hard sets for your triceps and your biceps of any kind, just 8 hard sets, 8 to 20 reps, maybe throw a superset in there for fun, just for do a drop set for kicks, whatever. Do you really think you're not going to be pumped? It's almost out of the question, right? The real question is, how hard am I going to push it to make sure that I'm as pumped as possible? That's more so what, after you lift for a while, you get to a point where you're not concerned with making it to the gym. The gym being in your routine becomes unquestionable. That's just a part of your routine. That's like waking up. That's like going to bed. That's like brushing your teeth and having lunch. It's a part of your day-to-day routine. You don't even think about it. You're more so concerned with just how hard you can go when you do. So that's my little 2 cents there. But I'm not sure exactly what gym I want to go to. I guess we'll both find out in a few seconds. Let's get started. Instead of starting with bananas, crazy heavy pushdowns, I always go back and forth, but today I want to start off with a light squeezing set of the rope. I am going to do a back and forth style. Tricep set, then bicep set, back and forth, back and forth. Finish it off like that. Ew. Ooh. Yeah. 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 Okay. Nice little opener there. All right, 70s would be perfect. Okay. Okay. Back to the rope. There we go. Oh my God. Oh. Whew. Oh. Turning a set of curls from standard into hammer is the perfect mechanical drop set, since this is a little easier to force out some reps than this. But back to push downs. I guess this will be the last set with the rope, then move on to something else. Yeah. Okay. Whew. Whew. One more set with the heavy dumbbells. Then maybe machine dips or something? To be determined. 60s for this one. I'm gonna do some tempo reps. So I'll pause halfway through for the first few. And once I get weak enough, I'll have to do regular runs. Okay. Let's get some dips going. Yeah, some heavy dips will be a perfect contrast to those squeezing rope sets. Little quicker pace today, which don't really mind. Arms isn't so taxing that I need like 3 minutes between sets. Actually, let's see if there's any funkiness with the tricep. No. Yeah. I'll come back to this. Let's do the machine curl that's right next to me. Yeah. Okay. Back to dips. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Make that a drop set. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, back to those curls. So, I've seen this comment a few times. Sam, when do you throw in a drop set? When should you throw in a little fancy sort of, you know, extra complicated set? Either drop set, maybe do like a, do a set of push downs first, then immediately burn out with rope, random shit like that. Just every so often, Good rule of thumb, maybe, I don't know, a few a workout. I think 75% of your volume, just as a guess, should probably just be some straight up heavy straight sets. Grab a weight, take that weight to failure within 8 to 20 reps. That's a really good fucking set if that's the case. But some fanciness, especially for the purpose of getting more pumped. Little drop sets like that or supersets, whatever, they work. So let's do another set of those machine curls and go from there. Wait, gotta drop that too. Okay. Okay. I think I have a plan. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. You gotta find out in the next set. But this is a good arm day. A little faster paced, but every so often, I'm fine with that. Let's finish with a classic. I'm thinking probably 2 more sets each. So 2 of these and then 2 of the mystery bicep exercise. I've already got it all set up, but pretty heavy. A weight that's within reason. These are going to be controlled reps. Squeeze, hold, come back down. Same thing until I burn out. I mean, nothing special there, right? And when it comes to those supersets and adding fancy shit to your training, that's a fucking sprinkle on top. You know, without the cake, without the meat and potatoes, the seasoning is fucking nothing. You know, so be more concerned with doing some hard, heavy sets. Really push yourself. Don't be afraid to go a little bit heavy. And then once you've done a few solid working sets of those, you're pretty much at your own discretion. You know, for triceps, I could do literally any tricep machine in this whole gym and it'd be fine right now. I could do overhead single arm dumbbell. I could go back to dips, that'd be fine. I could do the rope, I could do single arm. My triceps are pretty pumped and most of the work has already been done. Now all I gotta do is kind of finish it off. Not to say this isn't an important working set, but after you've done after you've done most of your workout, you're more concerned, or at least I'm more concerned, with having good sets and just making sure I really finish off fully pumped. All right, let's get this guy going. Yeah. Okay. Oh, feel you hit a little bit abruptly on those ones, but let's move on to this bicep set. Did you predict it? Were you correct? Seated preachers with the easy bar? Because if you were, you know me better than I do, because this took me a second to decide on. But 25 and a 10, you know, this is not one of the most impressive lifts per se, but weight is not the point. And like I was saying in the car, on a preacher curl, weight is definitely not the point. I'm more concerned with making sure that I'm squeezing extra hard up here on the top and then getting a good stretch before I do it again. So something like this, failure is not very, it's not very ambiguous. I'm gonna get to a point where I really just can't do another good rep, and that's gonna be the end of it. And when you have a set like that, be it bench, be it machine press, you know, be it a dumbbell curl or whatever, if you can hit real failure, when you get to a point where you physically cannot even do another partial, you're gonna want to. Those are the sets that I think the most progress is made from. Like when I do these kind of fluffy sets at the end, just squeezing, getting a good burn, finishing off the pump, that's not the same as the heavy ones that really do the stimulating. Now, of course, they work. There's fucking guys bigger than me doing mainly light squeezing sets. But that's just kind of my philosophy with it. But I'm gonna go hard on this one, obviously. Yeah. 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 Oh my God. That's too heavy. Let's come back, but loose the 10s. Yeah. Okay. Oh. All right. Back to preachers. Then we can suppose down. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go post down and bust out the measuring tape, see what we're really working with. Yeah, nice. So that was quick. That was like a 40-minute workout, buys and tries, which I'm totally fucking fine with. And if you were me and you could feel how pumped up I am right now, I think you would agree. I don't even think it, I know it. So let's get a little pump check and get out of here. So it shouldn't get too much freakier than this for me on this dieting phase. Like, I'll get a touch leaner over this next week-ish, but nothing like absolutely insane. Maybe just a touch more veins and striations all over the place. But let's, before any fancy posing, while I'm still as pumped as fucking possible. And if you measure your arms, don't be a chump. Come on, don't cheat. Don't put it like, oh, I think we're right, oh, whoops. Yeah, don't fucking do it sideways. Come on, be real. You want a legit number. Yeah, that's, oh, actually, that's not even as big as it gets. More like right here. All right. There we go. 19 and a half on that one. What about over here? Yeah, same shit. 19 and a half pumped. I'm fine with it. I have got absolutely no fucking problem there. And honestly, for being dieted down, that's fucking wild. That means when I start bulking up, 20 inches is going to be within reason in like a fucking week or two. I'm actually coming to a fucking gnarly realization right now. I've never broken 20-inch arms before, even on my biggest bulks. Oh my! Now I'm getting really excited. But let's run through some classics here. Yeah. Okay, a few more, and then we can scram. I wasn't lying. I was not lying when I told you the power of an arm pump when your triceps and your biceps are as pumped as they can be. It's fucking cool. Okay, now I just can't stop fucking posing. A few more, and then we'll get out of here. There's more like, I don't know how to do that one. But we get the idea. Pumps his shit. Getting veiny. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll push the diet another 2 weeks just for the added freak factor. Probably not, but you never know. So let's make haste. Go get some fucking food in my system. Get ready for cardio in the morning. The gift that keeps on giving. Every inch you put on your arms. Because not only does it make your arms bigger baseline, but every arm pump you come in and you get to see yourself bigger than you even are normally. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's a fucking... I guess if you're not a meathead, you know, who gives a shit. But if you've got that burning desire, if you've got that itch in the back of your mind that my arms are going to be a little cooler if they're a bit bigger, then I say go for it with everything you got. There's really no way not to enjoy it, because everybody that I talk to pretty much works out, so I never really hear it so much. But it's a rather rare occasion that someone starts working out, really gets into it, is in really good shape, is tracking their calories. I'm not even talking turning into a fucking bodybuilding freak. I mean just being in solid shape, putting on some muscle mass, getting bigger, getting stronger. Maybe not running faster, I'm no hybrid athlete, that's for sure. But nobody gets in shape, at least not for a consistent time period, and then says, screw it, I'm done with this. But actually, now that I say that, that is definitely not true. And it's typically during massive interstitial periods of change in your life, or in, I guess, people's lives, that I really hear that, people end up stopping working out. Especially if you end up getting a serious labor job, or you're just extra busy. Fucking, I'm sure this is hitting some of you kind of hard, especially in my, probably honestly my age demographic. You get a little something unexpected, positive pregnancy test, that will throw your life out of whack. Right? A couple of chitlins running around. And I'm not talking from experience, but if you're the guy, if that's you right now, you know what I'm saying, and you're like, oh my god, yeah, man, shit happens. You never know. But that doesn't mean that you're totally derailed. You're always on the track of shapeness per se. You're a goddamn steam engine. You just haven't been pumping. You just haven't really been pushing it as of late. You're kind of stalled out. You're gaining a little bit of rust. You're putting on a little dust. That doesn't mean you can't kick it back in gear. Right? Pull a goddamn, put your sweatsuit on like Rocky, drink 5 eggs in a big ass cup, go on a run, or do your 30 minutes of cardio on the seated bike, like I would probably prefer. A little bit less impact on your knees and joints, and me kind of being a heavier guy, running just doesn't make any sense for me. Maybe I'm just saying that because I'm a baby and I don't want to run. Don't negate that bias. But look, man, if that's you, if you're the slightly older demographic sort of guy, you were fucking jacked in high school. You got a picture of yourself back when you were playing on the varsity team. You had abs. You could bench 285 for 10, or whatever. Just say 315 for 10 just for kicks. Fuck, man, get back on it. Because no matter what you do, you're always in some sort of shape. And this is me not necessarily talking in like because I sort of go back and forth. I kind of go back and forth between two states of kind of advice, right? Like half the time I'm talking about how, dude, you gotta be a fucking freak, man. Oh, just fucking get as big as you possibly fucking can, bulk as hard as you can. But that doesn't negate the benefits of just lifting in a little bit more of a casual, consistent way for the regular characters. People who don't define themselves as a lifter or a gym rat. That's not their head title. Everybody's got a body on you, man. And odds are not even odds are, this is science based. This is scientifically proven. You know, I know that's kind of a rare statement for me to say, but the more fucking active you are, and especially for my older demographic, it's very low. You know, it's looking like it's like 30% 18 and below, 30% 18 to 40, and then, well, no, 30% 18 to 25, 30% 25 to 40, and then it kind of tapers off. But if you're in my older demographic, way older, use it or lose it, man. You know, your muscle tissue is going to be a pretty good indicator of how well you'll be able to even move around, right? Once I'm done with all this, which it feels crazy to even talk about this because it's going to be so far in the future. But once I'm done with really pushing myself like I am now, I'm never going to stop working out. And it's not because I'm a workout addict, which I am, but it's because it is, oh, I mean, it is fucking good for you. If you've got two dogs at your house, one of them runs around, he plays, he's fucking constant, he's active, he's moving his fucking body, he's breathing hard, you're throwing the ball with him, he's playing around, he's awake and he's alert. And the other one just sits around all day, never really runs around. Sure, it's not overweight. He doesn't move around very much. Who do you think's happier? You know, who do you think's having better quality of life? Right? So that's apart from the fact that getting in shape is cool. You know, you do get to flex and have some veins and build some muscle that you didn't have before, and be able to lift a weight that at one point was fucking, it wasn't even a question. You'd never even be able to unrack it. Right? The process of going through that is very fucking beneficial, physically, mentally. You know, it's just fucking, it's good to have something like that in your life. Otherwise, I feel like people can develop sort of an aimlessness that you might want to fill with, let's just call them negative vices, whichever those may be for you. But you're constantly fighting time, you know, right? So the last thing you want to do is fucking get kind of slow and senile, and you know, the kind of guy who's going to pull his hamstring the second he kind of does anything remotely active. You know, so I can't stress enough. You've got the same body for the rest of your life. If you make it work in the way that you want, you're definitely going to enjoy it. You know, and if you're just kind of a, you know, somebody who's just a kind of a baseline skinny build, right, not too much body fat on them, just walking around like normal, it's not going to change too much. You know, you're still moving around, but having too high of a body fat percentage, it really is not an ideal state of being, man. You know, if we're getting into the science of it, which I know is kind of weird for me to say, your hormones are going to be bouncing around all out of whack. You know, too much body fat in your frame, it's going to constantly aromatize more estrogen. You know, you're going to be just kind of fucking paler and weaker, as you're not going to be so motivated to get up, right? Who do you think is killing it? Like, not even killing it. Who do you think, just in a very baseline, kind of confined perspective, who would you rather be? You know, or who would you prefer that the people around you who you like love and care about, who would you rather them be? Right? The guy who wakes up, you know, just kind of lives his life, does nothing, sits around all day, you know, more often than not is in the seated position, does whatever that day's responsibilities are, drinks a little bit before bed, and then sleeps. You are underestimating the percentage of people in the States, at least, where that is their life day in, day out. Which, I mean, it really fucking sucks to even think about it like that. So that, or, dude, wake up early, man. Go do a jog. I'm not even talking a jog, just a brisk walk. Just a 30-minute walk, man. You know, take the dog out, give him a little bit of activity. You know, come in, cook some breakfast, do his regular daily routines. I mean, we've all got to do them. And then bust out a lift in the evening, be it crazy intense or not. Then, you know, come home, do whatever, right? At least as far as I can tell, and I don't, look, I know I say being fucking jacked is badass. It is. I mean, it's pretty cool. But that's not the end all be all of life. You know, before that, just being in a solidly active and healthy state. And by healthy, I mean being able to move around without too many aches and pains, and you've got a solid strength to you, to the point where life's not going to push you around too much. You're just going to have a better time, you know? And anybody that's gone through a serious transition in terms of their lifestyle, be it losing an insane amount of body fat, just, becoming more active. Like, if you this year compared to you last year, or however many years ago, if you're living a much more active lifestyle and you can tell that you just feel different, you know what I'm saying, So I'm not it's kind of up to you, right? I'm not your dad. I got no control over what you do. You can do whatever you want. But it's in my humble and slightly muscular and reasonably active perspective that breaking a sweat every day is in your best interest. I say this every time. I'm not extremely political in any way, but Michelle Obama knew what she was doing when she was pushing the 1 hour of play a day. I would not mind seeing more of that, because honestly, ugh, I guess this is, I wouldn't say political, but when I see videos of people at tons of different protests and rallies, and they're really just there to make a fuss, they're not really, being a good proponent of whatever cause they're preaching about. They're just kind of there to make trouble. I can guarantee none of them worked out that day. And I'm not saying there's a perfectly one-to-one correlation of those two facts, but it does not surprise me. That's my final statement there. So, plan now, go home, eat a lean cut of steak, have a ton of water. I'm fucking thirsty. I didn't bring a water bottle today. I was just raw dogging the water fountain. Not a good move. I never end up drinking enough water if I don't bring a water bottle mid-workout. And then legs tomorrow. So I'm going to make sure to get a solid good night's rest and be able to throw around a reasonable amount of weight. Do some, yeah, I know where I'm lifting tomorrow too. This is going to be a noticeable shift in my quad training. I'm going to try to make leg extensions the minority. Leg extensions will now be the minority of my quad training. And I'm going to prioritize much more pressing. Much more fucking pressing. And that's for two reasons. One being, I've got a couple of serious bodybuilders whispering in my ear that I got to do some more fucking heavy pressing for legs. Not even necessarily all heavy, but more pressing. But also, I've been doing a lot of leg extension based training so far. And I mean so far as in like the last few years, most of my quad training is from leg extensions. So just looking at it from that perspective, clearly it's worked. I've got some decent quads. But my quad training has become stale, I believe. I think everything else I have a pretty solid grasp on. My back days I think are probably my most varied. Those never get too stale. I always change it up reasonably. I'm getting a good wide array of stimulus for my back. Same thing with arms, same thing with chest. Shoulders is fine. Hamstrings, hamstring curls, RDLs. There's definitely some meat back there. But quads, I've been doing kind of the same way for a long time. I need to get some more pressing in. So, unless there's an extenuating circumstance, when I say, like, I hurt my adductor or something, or I don't know, random whatever, make sure that these next quad lifts are largely made up of some pressing. I'm talking multiple good, hard, nasty sets. Not just one set of squats and then move on. I'm talking, well, maybe one set of squats, but then move on to like a leg press or sissy squats or something fancy like that. So don't let me fall into my old ways. But part of that is also having good equipment next to you. That arse. Not to just plug a weightlifting manufacturer or a machine manufacturer. I've been liking a lot of Arsenal stuff. Arsenal pendulum squat has been my favorite. There was another one that I liked. It was like I think Nautilus-ish or something. Ah, but it kind of fell out of favor for me because I don't know, it just wasn't doing the trick. But with yeah, with that Arsenal one, really cool. And the Arsenal pec deck, yeah, you know what they did is they moved the points of rotation from in front of your shoulders to pretty much right above your shoulders, so the motion path feels much more natural. If you know what I'm talking about, then kudos to you. That is kind of a niche little, I guess, assessment. You know, I never hear anybody talk about that. But like I was saying in the last car talk, not to reiterate myself, the more in tune you can get with your fucking muscles and your body, the better your training is going to be. Because you'll actually have a solid understanding of why you don't even like a certain machine. If I know that I'm doing a pec deck where it's kind of, you know, the arms are too short, or like I can tell it's getting too much front delt, then I get to kind of say to myself, okay, I don't like this because of this, and this, but I do like this. Having a solid kind of analytical understanding like that lets me decide, like, okay, I want to do this machine instead of this one. And half this shit ends up becoming second nature. I didn't even think about it. You know, I don't have to sit here and think like, oh, should I do this leg extension, or should I do this single leg extension, or should I do a hack squat, or should I do a barbell squat? From going through the process of doing a variety of different workouts, you'll eventually come to the realization that, well, not even a realization. It's like I said, second nature. Okay, I want to do these squats. Okay, my quads are wrecked. Let's do some hack squats next. Okay. Yeah, let's do some leg extensions, superset it into machine press. You know, and you'll kind of know what you like. So don't don't get too antsy if you don't feel like you have a massive, firm grasp on your own training yet. As long as you're working out consistently and you're watching the occasional lifting YouTube video and kind of siphoning some knowledge from whoever you're watching and listening to, as long as it's good information, then you're good. You know, it's just a time battle. I've been saying this a lot. If you can lift consistently, if you can do anything consistently, and I mean day in, day out, apply yourself, it's really not a question of whether you're going to improve at it. It's only a question of how long is it going to take. And that is what I love about the working out, because regardless of how awesome or shit your genetics are, it's a pretty widespread, evenly accessible pathway to a pretty big game changer to your life. So I think that's a good ender there. You know, it is I can't think of anybody who does anything where the addition of a weightlifting routine, be it incredibly serious or a little bit more on the casual end, will do them any harm whatsoever. And I mean, I guess if you hurt yourself, that's harm, but I mean, excluding those factors, you know, assuming all goes well, the gym is only a positive to your life. I say that with 100% certainty and authenticity. It's got my seal of approval. The gym will give you a better time overall. So that's all I got. I'll see you tomorrow for legs. I'll make sure it's a demonic lift as well, regardless of how many or how few calories I get to eat for the next few days. So maybe yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll post a Q&A Instagram story and we can talk about those tomorrow too. I know you guys have been itching for some more inside information. So I'll see you then.